And we are live once again. Good morning, everybody. This is Rama on Writing's Business of Writing and Publishing webinar, coming to you live from a beautiful sunny Sedona, Arizona. We missed any kind of rain from that hurricane coming up from Mexico. It was kind of cloudy for a couple of days, and actually we did get rain one day, and I was stupid and left my car window open, so I had a wet seat one day, but there's always towels in my car because when you have a convertible, if it rains, you get a little bit of wetness in there. So fortunately, I'm in Arizona and not in Hawaii. If I was in Hawaii, the car would never dry out. In Arizona, a half hour after the rain, everything's dry. So big differences. Well, today we're going to talk about the hard launch and soft launch concept. And this is really somewhat difficult. I mean, it's a simple idea, but it's a difficult concept for authors to wrap their head around at first. And that's because when Rama tells you that, well, we're going to do your official book launch in January, and here it is in September, you're thinking, what the heck is he talking about? Does that mean that my book isn't going to be available until January? And that's not what I mean. So it takes a little bit of conceptualization to understand, and at first I see these very disappointed faces because they're thinking, oh my gosh, I'll never have my book done. But a hard launch is different than a soft launch, and one of the reasons why there's a gap between the two is that we're authors and we're not movie makers, so we don't promote our book before the book is done. As much as we'd like to, and I think as you get into the second and third books, you start to see that promoting your book ahead of time is the way to go. But that first book, you're so concerned about going through the publishing process that you just don't have the mental capability to think about promoting it. So what happens is that we have our book out, and some of us may have a website up, some of us may not, like myself. But the reality is that we've done very little setting up our structure for marketing, because we're just concentrating on getting that book done, reading it however many times we need to read it, that we just don't devote the time to that social media, to the blogging, to getting our newsletters rolling, getting our contact software loaded with people. So one of the reasons for that time delay is that we need to have our structure in place. We need to start pushing the fact that we have a book out there, and we need to collect all those people that we know, whether it's joining organizations that we may have been members of before or not, whether it means connecting with our old high school, college buddies. It does require a fair bit of effort to collect those names. And some of the time we're handing out bookmarks at the Target to get people involved with our, that this is coming down the pike. So we want to have a structure of digital marketing in place between the soft launch and the hard launch. And you may ask, well, does that mean I'm not going to be selling my book when it's available? Well, that's not what I'm really saying. I'm saying that when we have our soft launch, our book is available. But one of the key components is that in the soft launch, you're leveraging people that know you personally, that will buy your book because they know you and they're proud of you. And one of the key components to that is that those people are very likely, if we push them hard enough, to write some reviews for us. So one of the things that, we're all thinking, oh, I'll get this person to write that review, and that person, and this person here, and so we're going to try to get those reviews up on Amazon. We're going to try to get those reviews up on our website. We're going to try to get those reviews going through our social media. And unfortunately, most of our friends, even though they're good intentioned, they may not fulfill on writing that review. So we have to kind of push them a little bit. I think I have 7 reviews on Amazon. Deb McTiernan has over 25. And her book's been out. She's launched, officially launched it. Now, the reason why we want those reviews on Amazon is because when we do our hard launch, we're going to be contacting with people that don't know us from anybody else. And we don't have any kind of leverage to, guilt them into writing that review or buying that book. So by looking at reviews on Amazon, that may be the thing that causes them to purchase your book. If you've got some good reviews that kind of tell people, oh, this is a great book, it's about more or less about this or that, then they're saying, hey, that sounds good, and look at all these nice reviews, I'm going to go buy that book and see what it's like. So that is one of the main components of the soft launch, is to get your reviews in place. Now, of course, to get them in place, we need to have a place. So one of the components of setting up that digital marketing part of our campaign is to develop that Amazon Author Central page. And many of you have worked with Denise Casino. Many of you will work with Denise Casino as you roll out your really hard launch. And for those of you who aren't going to be working with Denise, I would recommend looking at some of the Amazon Author Central pages from the authors that have become Amazon bestsellers and get a flavor for how that page is set up. Because anyone can set up an Amazon Author Central page. It's just setting it up to be effective is the key, and Denise is a wizard with that. If you've been on the webinars, you've probably heard me mention before that, Denise will Skype with you, share the screen with you, hold a conversation with you, and click and do this stuff faster than we could, even if we knew what we were doing. It's like, and before you know it, you've got a very dynamic Amazon Author Central page, and in the same moment, she's determined which categories your book will fit into to allow you to become that Amazon bestseller. So, I do recommend working with her. It does come at a price. Her program does cost. It's well worth the money to do it, and I think everybody that's worked with her will tell you. But the bottom line is that we can all do everything that anyone else does. And when I get to my next webinar today, I'm really going to drive that point home, because I found some information out about the book cover that, I think people are missing the boat, but that's for the next hour. This hour, we're still talking about the hard launch, soft launch concept. So to answer everyone's question, you do have your book available for sale when you start your soft launch. And that's essentially what the soft launch represents is that now your book is available for sale. And for those of you who haven't really gotten that far in the publishing timeline, once your book is uploaded to the print-on-demand fulfillment house, either CreateSpace or one of Ingram's platforms, although we've been shying away from Ingram, then the book is distributed through those companies to Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. It's not something that we at Tom Bird do. It is something that the print-on-demand company does. So to take the first step, the print-on-demand company is the company that actually prints your books, but they also run the e-tailing distribution. So they will run through a distribution for you. And that's, you know, a hard component to grasp, because many of you feel that we're running that distribution, and we're not. That is the component of the print-on-demand company. And in most cases, it works out. I know that with Dennis, we couldn't find his book up on some websites, and I don't know exactly why that would occur, because all we as authors do is click several buttons and they run it through a distribution. It goes out there. And one of the reasons why we've moved to CreateSpace for our distribution is to leverage the Amazon listing a little bit better. For those of you who don't know, CreateSpace is a subsidiary. It's owned by Amazon. But that doesn't mean it's Amazon, and I think that that's another confusion when I talk to authors. They automatically call CreateSpace Amazon, and it's not. It's a company owned by Amazon, but they are not the same. So we work with CreateSpace because that assures us that CreateSpace that assures us that Amazon isn't going to screw with us, basically. And I say screw with us, meaning that Amazon has a way of changing the listing for the companies that aren't their company. So point is that many of us found that when we used Ingram Lightning Source for our print-on-demand company, that our Amazon listing would go out of stock, or it would change to available in 2 to 3 weeks instead of having your book available. And for anyone purchasing a book, they really don't want to wait 2 to 3 weeks for it. And if it's out of stock, we're not gonna get the sale. Now, we did look at Bill Murphy's listing this past week as we were thinking about uploading his book to CreateSpace, and we saw that actually his book was available. They said 10 in stock, buy now. So they don't always screw with you, but you don't really want to leave that to chance. And many of the authors that I've uploaded books to CreateSpace, that decision was, we decided because their Amazon listing said out of stock. So this is a way that we can kind of keep our book available, because, as I say, book sales are kind of an impulse thing. And if your book isn't available, it's hardly, you're just not going to get that sale. Okay, so the answer to that first question is that in the soft launch, yes, your book is for sale and you can sell it. Some authors don't want to wait a long time between the soft and the hard launch. Some authors do. We had a launch for Donna Marie which I think was our last official launch with Denise. It seems like that was about 2 weeks ago. And the reason why she didn't want to wait so long was that she had a clientele waiting to purchase her books. And so by allowing them to purchase and running the book launch, the hard launch, very close, she was able to become an Amazon Author Central, an Amazon #1 bestseller rather quickly. For many of us, we don't have a waiting clientele, so we want to build that clientele so that we can leverage that Amazon #1 bestseller status when we do the official launch. Now, many people will offer a discount for their hard launch. And one of the components of Kindle, specifically Kindle Select, and I'll just back up out in a second and explain that for a second. Kindle Select allows you to discount or offer your ebook, your Kindle book, for free. And that is a way that you can become a #1 Amazon bestseller by taking advantage of that in a promotional component. And I know Deb has told me that she still seems to make some revenue by offering her ebook for free. So it's yet to be determined exactly whether you're totally giving it away or not. But to take a step back, Kindle Select is, again, another branch of Amazon. Kindle Select means when you enter Kindle Select, that means that you have given Kindle a 90-day exclusivity to your ebook. And I read through, that means that you cannot sell your ebook even on your own website. That means that Amazon Kindle is the only place where that ebook is available. Now, they do check, so if you have gone through a further distribution with your ebook and it's at Barnes & Nobles, then you will not qualify for Kindle Select. Okay, so one of the main components of setting yourself up with Kindle Select is that you are able for 5 days out of that 90 days to offer your ebook for free. So as I said, some of the authors need to utilize that when they're doing their hard launch to become an Amazon #1 bestseller. So something to keep in mind, and when we now view that as the process. So when you get your print-on-demand book uploaded to Create Space, a week or two later, your ebook is available. And the first step that I recommend is that you enroll that book in Kindle Select for the first 90 days. In the past, we would actually go to Kindle, I think it's called KDP Publishing, and we would upload it. Then we go to Barnes & Nobles, and we would upload it, and maybe some other websites. Well, we've since determined that doing Kindle Select first is the best alternative, and then after that 90 days, if we want to go to other distributions for the ebook, we actually upload through Smashwords and let them take care of the availability. They will distribute that book to the Barnes & Nobles, Kobo Books, and iTunes. And in itself, Smashwords is a big website for ebooks. So it's kind of those four. Now, reality is king in this world, and it's nice to think that Apple, iTunes, and Barnes & Nobles may have an impact in the game. But, as far as ebooks go, Kindle represents I think over 90% of all ebooks sold. So it may be to our advantage just to stay as part of Kindle Select. Uh, and I have an iPad. I can purchase Kindle books. I have a Kindle app on my iPad. I have a Kindle app on my PC, and a Kindle app on my MacBook. So Kindle has dominated this ebook industry. Even though I think the iPad was originally modeled to be the super powered ebook reader. It kind of grew beyond that, and they have their own game now. I mean, and Kindle followed suit and developed their Kindle readers, and now they kind of emulate the iPad, giving you more access to multimedia. Although if you look and think about it, much of that multimedia that the Kindle interfaces into are Amazon products. So they've kind of looked at, well, how can we basically capture the whole market? And there is a concern. Tom is very concerned that Amazon is at some point going to screw us all. I'm not sure if they really are. I think that they realize that by allowing authors to, access and leverage, their company, that's a better alternative. But you never know. The evil giant out there, you never know what happens with monopoly control. Things start out well, and then, things change. So, okay, well, getting back again to our soft launch and hard launch. Soft launch, the two main components that you need to develop between the soft launch and the hard launch are, number one, reviews, mostly reviews on Amazon, because that's, again, Kindle represents 90% of ebooks sold. Well, Amazon represents 70% of books being sold, hard book, paperback books and ebooks. 70% of the selling of books go through Amazon at this point in time. A very important component, okay? So getting your reviews on Amazon are important, and sometimes it's a struggle. Bill and I have talked, and he's tried to put up reviews for some of the authors, and for some reason he gets turned down, and we haven't exactly figured out why. I think Deb mentioned that she had a bunch of reviews disappear off of her Amazon account. So, there are some idiosyncrasies, and what we found first off is that to put up a review on Amazon, number one, you do not need to purchase that book from Amazon. What you do need to have is an Amazon account and have actually bought one thing from Amazon. I remember back, it seems like over a year ago, Jack Terry was saying that he couldn't put up anyone's review because he never bought anything through his Amazon account. So he went and bought something for 99 cents, and then he was able to put reviews up. So, there are certain parameters that we need to guide our friends with here. And as I had said, our friends are very well intentioned. Yes, I'll do that review for you. But you can't sit back and think that will happen just because they said that they would do that. Okay, so you kind of have to sit on them, push them, make sure that they do that. Now, the other component that needs to be in place to, effectively market your book is all your digital marketing, which is your social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, um, let's see, Google Plus, Pinterest, maybe Instagram. I mean, there are dozens beyond the big five. And for your individual markets, there may be some very small social media companies that can give you a high percentage of conversion. It's worth checking that out. Um, it is very worth checking that out. I remember one time I did a little research for Dennis Lee, who writes for kids, and I was thinking, well, maybe the school teachers have their own social media. And sure enough, there was something that was specifically for school teachers. Well, that could be a very effective marketing approach for a specific genre. So you need to get your social media up. You need to get your blog rolling. Okay, these are the components of digital marketing. Um, of course, yeah, they're closely connected because you use your social media to advertise that you have your blog post up. Up, check out my latest blog post. The blog pushes people back to your website where they sign up for your mailing list, and then every month you send out your newsletter to that mailing list. So it's a big, interconnected componentry, digital marketing. So those are the two things that you want to work on to make sure that it's all in place so that when you do your hard launch, you've got someone to hard launch it to. Now, if you work with someone like Denise Casino, she has 200,000 plus followers in her Twitter account. So those 200,000 people are notified through her program that yes, your book is launched and available, and that's why you spent the time to get your Amazon reviews up, because those people don't know you. They may be interested in what you're writing about, but they don't know you. So those reviews are what's going to be the tipping point for them to actually purchase that book. That's the main structure for hard and soft launches. Okay, well, I don't have much more to say specifically, but I do want to open up for comments and questions, because I know that Bill has encountered difficulties posting reviews himself. And as I said, Deb McTiernan has a good amount of reviews up on Amazon. I didn't even look at my reviews, and I started working with Denise, and so she starts cutting and pasting that into your Amazon Author Central page, and it was quite entertaining, because then she showed me, and I said, "Wow, that's really good. Someone wrote that about me? I had no idea." So there are things like that it probably helps us to look at that, because if a review goes up on Amazon, we can cut and paste that, put that up on our website, and we can push that through our social media, and that will again stimulate more interest. So this is a interconnected game. Now, one of the things that we are working with, we had a meeting just the other day, and I'm not sure how this is going to play out, but this is really an interesting thing. We have in our promotion package, I think it's called Promotional Advantage Program, we have a big digital marketing component. Okay, we have worked with a number of different social media, blogging, newsletter experts in that program. We've determined certain people can do certain things very well, and certain people can't do certain things very well. And so, what we've come up with, there was a company called Social Ally. And Social Ally was a social media company that worked with a dashboard. And this was a, how do they call it? This was a, I'm trying to think of the term. I want to say white hat, but white hat isn't really the correct term, but it's a type of software that you can essentially purchase the rights to. So Social Ally didn't own the dashboard that they were using, but they licensed it. So it was available to anybody. Well, we've one of the principals of that company has left it, and we are in the process of trying to develop a specific dashboard for authors. Okay, now authors are different than real people. Somebody asked me this question this week. I think it was Gwen. She said, "Is it easier to work with authors or mountain bikers?" And I had to think about that. I said, mountain bikers are easier to work with. Authors are a breed that are kind of unto themselves. There are certain things that I've encountered, and one of the big things is that when I say social media, authors tend to run the other direction. They want to make up as many excuses why they can't do it, and eventually they have to realize that we live in a digital age, and digital marketing is the only way to be successful. And the cool thing is that we can do digital marketing from our office, our living room. We can do it from in front of the TV. I mean, we have the world at our hands, but we can't run the other way when digital marketing or social media is mentioned and blogging is mentioned. We can hire somebody to do it for us. I mean, that's fully a possibility. The downside is that many of us are operating on a shoestring, and so by hiring somebody to do our digital marketing for us, it can be quite pricey. And they may not do what we really need done. They may just have think they can help us. So we actually do have an advantage. And as I was talking with this gentleman about the authors and the possibility of developing a program just for authors, he was saying, well, I'm going to have to hire a team of people to provide content. I say, wait a minute, many of our authors have no problems writing. So providing content is something that we can do. Of course, we have to get off our duffs and do it. It does require that we actually do provide the content, but bear in mind that we may take for granted that we can do this, that writing isn't difficult for us. So keep that in mind, that we can sit down in an afternoon on a Saturday, and we can provide content for a month or 2 or 3 for our digital marketing. Okay, we just have to know what the heck we're doing and all, but we can do that. So as I said, I was talking to this gentleman, and he was pointing this out. Well, gosh, it's really difficult providing content for people. And so first problem out of the way, we can provide our own content. We are content providers. Very important to step up to the plate there, because that's the first step of social media, blogging, newsletters, providing content. Okay, so as I say, this is a component that we're in the process of developing. It should be we should know in the next couple of weeks where that is going. We've been working with this guy for quite a while. I was really hoping that everything would go well with the company that he was working with and we'd be able to roll something out. But this is probably a better alternative because now we will have a exclusive author platform dashboard. And of course, one of the social media types that isn't normally thought of as social media is something called Goodreads. And I've mentioned this plenty of times to all of you. If you have not gone on to Goodreads yet, get yourself going there, because the first step with Goodreads is to basically start liking books. You don't even have to have a book to be part of Goodreads. And, with any of the social media stuff, you kind of have to establish yourself. You have to comment. You have to be part of different groups to develop the credibility, the following, the integrity before people are going to really pay much attention to you. I did post an article on my Facebook page this week. So for those of you who haven't gone there, this is my pitch to get likes. Go to my Promote Your Book Now Facebook page. Click the like button if you haven't done that. And you guys have really helped me in the last month go from about 84 likes up to about 130. So thanks for all your good clicking. But I posted a article about what's the difference between being a social media, I think it was something like being a social media expert versus a celebrity. Okay, so it seemed like a very good article, worth looking at. For those of you who haven't been to that page, that's essentially what I post, is articles out there that really help us with ideas. We always need to be looking for new ideas. And for those of you who are well into the promotion process, that is why you're excelling, is that you are looking and trying new things every week. I talk to Deb pretty much every week, and she's got something new that she's exploring. And, and I know that, she's going to succeed. By expanding our footprint out there bigger and bigger, we're going to get to that point where we're unstoppable. And, that's what it takes. So it does take continuing to explore what's out there. Okay, well, I'm just jabbering now. So any questions, comments, any ideas about, difference between soft and hard launch, differences in how to get your digital marketing going? The forum is open. You can all unmute yourselves. So any comments today?
There's some good chat comments down there, and some good questions.
Well, let me take a look and see. It's sometimes hard to focus on that and talk at the same time. Okay, the name of my Facebook page again is called Promote Your Book Now. The now is all in caps, and the Promote Your Book, the first letter, is all in caps. And it was really just something I put together one day. We can all do this type of page. If you've got an interest that you can set up a business Facebook page. It is really simple to do. You do need to have a personal Facebook page first, I believe. So you need to have an account. And we have done this before, and we will do it again. One of these days, I'll open up and show the screen on Facebook and how to do that. But if you don't know how to do that, just Google how to set up a fan page on Facebook or a business page on Facebook, and they will step-by-step you through it. It is really simple. Okay, let's see what else we have.
Rama, if I can jump in.
Please.
I believe I'd asked you earlier about just Denise Casino's work. She charges a certain amount of money. I asked if it translated directly into book sales. I felt like you were hedging in that you didn't want to put her on the spot. Depends on the content of a person's book. But anybody else here have experience with Denise, her work, shelling out $3,200 just to look good doesn't sound like a wise way to spend money. Who knows what?
You know, we have at least two people on the line that have worked with Denise, Deb McTiernan and Bill Murphy. I do want to categorically state that in our contract that Denise puts out, we, specifically say that there is no number of books that are guaranteed to sell. And
no, that's fair. I wouldn't want to put her on the spot, but she's done this many times now, and I'm simply wondering what the experience has been, if anybody here knows.
Deb, what's been your experience with Denise? So why don't you give us your opinion about the program?
I thought it was really good. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I thought I had a really good experience. It did not translate into enough sales to cover the cost of working with Denise, but I'm finding the further away I get from my experience with her, the stuff I've learned, and I took copious notes when I worked with her, and I did the assignments she gave me every week. I'm finding it's really helping me break apart the social media and pull it all together into my own kind of footprint. I'm weaving everything, linking everything, and backlinking everything. She taught me things that I wouldn't have been able to learn any other way. Bill, what about you? Because I know you worked with her too, right?
Yeah, I feel the same way. This whole process is all about a learning curve.
Right.
And it takes X amount of time to learn something. And you can either figure it out on your own and it'll take 10 years, or you can work with somebody who can show you things and it'll take 1 year. So to me, it's like a matter of taking that money, and it's an investment in, I can put that bestseller, Amazon bestseller sticker on my book now, and that counts for somebody. That basically helps distinguish you from other authors that are out there, and there's so many of them. For me, it's all about a learning curve. How can I do it? What tools are even out there? I don't even know. So you're going to pay somebody one way or the other, or you're just going to plod along yourself and learn, which there's nothing wrong with that. It just takes time. So I went, that's the way I've always customarily done things. And I just needed help with this because it's a whole new thing that we're learning. And I love Denise. I thought it was very, very good. I learned a huge amount of things that I can actually apply to other things. I didn't even know those tools were available until I worked with her. And not only do I know, what's available, but I have a pretty good idea how to use them. And so that can help me with my learning curve. It just shortens your learning curve. So it's an investment just like anything else.
So we're talking about something that's going to pay off over time, that second book or...
Exactly.
Right.
It's just, it is what it is. You go to school and you go, well, I'm not getting that money back for quite a while. But what you know how to do and the credential of that little sticker or whatever, that's just another thing you can put in your quiver of arrows, And this is all about just learning, and moving on and stuff. So I needed help, and so I did it. So I'm glad I did it. And she's awesome, and she'll, to this day, talk to you and answer questions. And she referred me to somebody that she knew, and this was long after we were done. And I got a radio show that I did off of it, So I mean, she is well connected, So I just felt like it was a good investment for me.
Does she have a website?
Does she?
Several.
I think the name of her website is Best Selling Services or Amazon Best Selling Services. .com.
Just
I'm
Google Denise
100%.
Casino and you'll find all
Yeah.
her website.
And just to clarify for Mary, yes, Denise's program is the cornerstone of our promotional advantage package. And I did a webinar, I think, last week that talked about just that. I haven't posted it up, but that is the cornerstone. It is a huge program. It does work a lot with the two main components, other than the fact that she has 200,000 followers on her Twitter accounts. The two main things that she does for us is that she will teach us how to use Twitter effectively. Okay, most of us, when we hear the word Twitter, we say, "What the heck good is Twitter?" Okay, because we don't know, and we think of kids typing in their little smartphones when they're in the mall, tweeting about where they are and what they're doing. Well,
Yep.
gang, Twitter is a lot bigger than that. The other thing that she does for us, specifically, is she makes a very effective Amazon Author Central page inside of Amazon. So essentially, she search engine optimizes our book inside of Amazon. This is critical. I mean, we can all do an Amazon Author Central page, but can we do it effectively? I'm not sure if I could. I'm not even sure if I put one up until Denise put mine up. And in addition, she will help put us into the categories that we can become bestsellers. And she's got a few tricks up her sleeve. I mean, we're allowed to have two categories for a print book and two categories for our Kindle book. But Denise knows ways that we can have a few extra, categories. And she is really an amazing gal. She does, work with you past the book launch, which is a 5 or 6 day launch. There's usually a build up where, you guys, you and Denise will set up a timeline as to when you're going to do your specific launch. And then you do a lot of legwork prior to that launch. And
Yep.
I have to say that the authors that have followed suit, like Deb said, she did everything that Denise told her to do. Those authors have all become number ones in their categories. 2 authors that haven't become number ones but have become bestsellers in their categories were 2 authors that did not do the assignments that Denise asked and set up for the authors. I'm not sure if I'll be number 3 in that category or not. But it is possible. She put me in a category, and she's clicking away, and she says, puts me in the category. Say, "Oh, look, you're already a bestseller in this category."
Oh,
So,
wow.
and I wasn't number 1, but she found categories which I can become number 1 in. So, I think that the program does have worth. And Tom, if you think about your book as a business, remember the rule of thumb of a business is that you don't see profit for 3 years. That is a rule of thumb. No person realistically starts a business without that understanding. Okay. Now, I remember, with my mountain bike heaven, sure, the first month I was open, I was able to pay rent. I mean, but that doesn't mean that I saw a profit in that first month. So I think that both Deborah and Bill, made the point that they learned tools that over time they will sell those books. Okay, now if you had 2 similar books and one author did Denise's program, the other author struggled along on their own. I think I would say categorically that the author that worked with Denise would sell more books quicker than the other author, okay? It's like unless you're a wizard at social media, digital marketing, you know, there's just no comparison. Many of us have the time to become wizards, but we need a good teacher, and Denise is that. And these webinars help, but you know, bear in mind, if you just show up to these webinars and then don't do anything, for example, if you don't go to Goodreads and set up your account, you won't get any benefit from me telling you that Goodreads is a good place to go to. So, you know, keep that in mind, that we provide a lot of tips and tricks here, but you know, there's nobody talking to you every week and say, did you go to Goodreads? Did you do a post on Facebook? Did you open up your Twitter account? Did you, you know, do these things, okay? That's why in our promotional advantage package, we have two plans, a front-end plan and a back-end plan, okay? But we don't make, you know, we can't make you do stuff. We can just provide the framework and all. And you know, I'm on so many different digital marketing, blogging, mailing lists. Every week I get things. Some weeks I open them up, some weeks I don't. Some weeks I open something up and post it on that Facebook page. You know, so you know, we do need to develop, you know, some sort of plan, you know, where we're learning from the people that know. Whether that means that every week we're finding something new like Deb, or that means that, you know, we're working with somebody and we're paying them money to do this for us. Okay, so, you know, eventually, you know, you have to step up to the plate one way or the other. Well, gang, I've got to close this one out and start the next one. The next webinar is going to be very interesting, and thank you, Tom Carroll, for being the inspiration behind this. We're going to talk about the back of the book, and you know, I learned an awful lot, and I read an awful lot about what was out there, and there's a lot of good information, but I think that they missed a couple of really key points. And I can't say that I'm smarter than anybody else out there, but I scratch my head with what was missing. So anyway, you all enjoy your week, and I'll be back in a moment on my other group. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be talking about next week. I will be doing the live remote webinar or retreat at the same time, but you know, I've made time. So Rama will be in 4 places at once next week. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back next week, and I'll be back in a moment.
Thanks, Ron.